All right. We're back.
Welcome.
Thursdays at 2.
Another chance to celebrate Scientology's downfall. And I figure there's another about 125 polls with anti-Scientology flyers on them right now that weren't there last week.
That's right.
And it's really, I woke up in a good mood. Also, this last 2 days really has been really cool for me because I'm starting to see my stuff connect. Like, because I was doing it so random just to make sure it was not worth anyone's time to try to follow me to take this shit down. I didn't want to give them a honey pot like I did with the park, where they just said, fuck it, and went 3 blocks, took everything down.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So diffuse. Right.
So I was just like, I'm just going to be completely insane and just pull over wherever there's a parking spot, which is going to be different every day, next to a pole that I haven't done, get back in and go. And so this way it's just, but now it's starting where like I pull over and I already have stuff on it. I'm like, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're starting to catch up to each other. So now I have a 3-mile stretch on one huge boulevard that is both sides of the street maxed out. Totally ridiculous. And I got 5 other streets that are about 2 miles total. So instead of 3 and 3, like 2. So I still got a ways to go. Probably maybe 3 more weeks, and I will have.
Wow.
I will have 2 cities basically. There's just no way you're not going to see them.
Yep.
You know. And what if you're like a jogger dude? Like I see those guys go by. Once you've seen 3 miles of this shit, you're going to be like, what does this say?
Yes.
What is this?
Yeah.
You're going to take it seriously.
Absolutely. It sure does. And I don't think I've seen anything like this out on the streets, this kind of anti-Scientology flyering, I don't know, since like the anonymous days. Like, I think you're spearheading the maximum of this.
I'm really excited because the only competition I have is that dude who buys houses for cash. Okay. That's all over the country.
Yeah.
That guy is good.
A street team, right? So
that guy is good. So I got to deal with him. I got to deal with lost cats. And I'm totally cool with that. You can put it right over my shit. That's fine.
Oh yeah, please.
But those are the only 2 things I've been running up against. Oh, and there's a guy that does a telemarketing job, and he cuts up the thing so you can take the number, so you can sell like toner or something if you're 18 years old and you're that's the only that's my total competition in the entire valley. And I've also done this now around the colleges. I've completely maxed out Valley College. That is, you can't go anywhere without that, seeing it.
Yeah.
Everywhere. And I did, Pierce College, Valley College. Right. Oh, and me and Davey did CSUN, the front of CSUN.
That's right.
And
so
I'm
you'd
just
have
thinking
some more flyering competition there, I would think, right?
What?
You'd have some more flyering competition there, I would think. Other people, like a lot of kind of flyers put up. At least Pearl and I have been seeing, a lot more around the college when we're flyering. And so, we're kind of jockeying for space, but our stuff is staying up on the UT campus. They're taking it down around the org, but
I can't wait next time I go over to Blue or Celebrity Center, or I might even save one for North Hollywood. But I have Mersker sent me these ones that are in like plastic, where once I put like 80 staples in, you're going to need an instrument to get these off. The Hulk will not be able to take this off.
Well, it would be worth it just to see Odo try, right? So somebody's got to, get that shot whenever it happens, or whoever they send out there to break their wrists by taking out 80 staples out of the one poster.
It is not coming out. You can't cut it. You can't rip it. You can't burn it. I mean, you're gonna have to take a tool to get that off of there. And that's gonna be funny. So I was thinking I'll put about 85 staples in that thing, and then just go get a lemonade and film it.
Yup. Oh yeah, because they're desperate to not have that stuff up around there, and they're trying to reclaim that space as much as possible, and they've spent a pretty penny doing it, and seemingly they're going to spend more. I heard tell that they have plans on buying the damn boulevard.
Wow!
Or like getting possession of it from the city.
I bet they can pull it off too, because they own all the apartment buildings on the other side of the street.
Right, and you'd have to do all of the kind of, you'd have to do all of the tests. You'd have to do like a parking study, a traffic study, and all of that. It would have to go through the city, and possibly there'd be a public comment, kind of availability, either from the city council or from some other city development organization. But there are ways of kind of doing that sneakily as well, and so nobody knows, or getting possession of the real estate in basically in fact without actually having it. So like the city's already going along with what Scientology is doing, and so if they have the plans on the books and they're trying to kind of keep this secret, the city might just act as though Scientology owns the boulevard while the deal is going through. But I mean, it would be interesting because they are trying any and everything. They've had their own occupation of LRH Boulevard, and it's a month and a half now that they've had like a bullshit event constantly. So I think now it would be like if they took possession, there would be maybe like a guard gate and bars. So,
well, what I think of too, because when I the few protesters I ever saw when I was in, they definitely pitched that they're either insane or they're paid off. Those are the only two options.
Yeah.
And I would go along with it at the time because I was thinking, like, you're only here with one other guy and you're only here for 2 hours for 3 days of the week. And then I saw you 1 week and you're gone. Like, how important he probably was crazy. But when I see your Chalktology every day for 37 days, you're like, what are you going? What is he pissed off about? Like, now I want to know.
Yeah.
What?
Well, yeah, that's the idea.
Like, you can't just keep telling me he's nuts, okay? Because obviously he's showered and he's got different clothes on and he keeps buying chalk, and he's you can't tell me he's crazy, okay? Now you can still get him with he's getting paid maybe, but who the fuck is paying for this? And
definitely not no one.
Like, I take something serious if I see it enough times. So if I was a college kid and I walked by you saying, you guys suck, and saw all this stuff on the ground, I'm not going to think about it until about that third, fourth week. I'm going to be like, what's this guy carrying on about? And now I'm actually going to read that stuff. And the next thing I'm going to do is ask you something.
And that's generally what we've had is the beginnings of interactions oftentimes will start with, well, I've been seeing this around. I've heard from my friends. They've heard it one other time or they've seen us before. And all of it. Okay, so now they're overwhelmed with curiosity and they ask the question. And it's exactly the kinds of interactions that we're trying to cultivate. And in that specific population. So the next kind of idea with the flyering is to make sure that all of the high rises, these kind of, they're dorms basically for the university, unofficial dorms, make sure that for each and every one of those are encircled with this messaging on a consistent basis. So it's the campus first, so everybody walking to and from everything can associate it with that, and then especially these high-rise housing developments around the org are exactly the kind of walk-up business that Scientology is depending on some of these kids who are coming into town. Maybe they're living in this housing, and perhaps, I've heard from Pearl directly, who knows more about this town, like the kids who are coming in to University of Texas at Austin, some of them, their first year English class is larger than the town that they just came from, right?
Wow.
So they're very impressionable. This is exactly what Scientology is trying to pick up on. And, you get the freshman blues. No, you didn't make friends. You're awkward, whatever. You're looking for answers. You're looking for solace. And these, love bombing booksellers come right at you with all of the things that, you've never known that was missing in your life, like L. Ron Hubbard and stuff.
Oh, God. I would so like to miss that guy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I've been cutting up one of his speeches, making kind of audio art out of, the Zimbabwe interview from the 1960s, where there's a background of the field of poppies. So specifically, I'm looking for phrases in that are off kilter, bizarre, these halting phrases where a deer leader like this should really know right off the top and shouldn't go reaching for this concept. And all the times he says and any combination of that, which, like, I'm halfway through cutting it and there are 27 ahs, there are 12 of them. Of ahs, there are 7 of those. There are a bunch of uhs, and then a bunch of individual phrases that are just halting as hell. And that's in 20 minutes. The guy could barely get his own ideas together. So I'm really dissecting this thing with a fine-tooth comb. And as I'm doing it, it's exposing to me just absolutely how horrible a communicator he is. But it's also exposing some patterns of speech where in these ahs, he's using the same tonality. Like he has this weird sing-songy thing that becomes like a drone. You have certain pitches and he stays on certain pitches, and it is a hypnosis technique. He's using a few of them, and some of it is meant to kind of draw you into what they're saying, right? By like kind of not saying the whole phrase, and so your attention is grabbed into what it is that they're saying, and then once they've done that for a second, then they land their kind of target phrase in your brain. And if you don't have any resistance to it, it will work pretty great. But I'm making like a drum beat out of all of these dumb phrases.
I want to hear some like electronica or something with those.
That is what's coming. It's in the works. I've got some bars of that already. So it is disturbing. I think Pearl is rather disturbed by it. I think anybody that's disturbed by Elron's voice. But I am trying to reappropriate kind of the seriousness of this thing and rend it into ridiculousness.
I would actually love to see just a tape, like a video camera on you listening to I would just pick any tape from like the New Era Dynetics course, reel to reel. Put it on, or just I guess they have CDs now. I would love to have a video camera, so that I could just look at while you're doing it, because you have a big vocabulary, you're a smart guy, you're well read, and you would think, I'm going to bet big money that within 15 minutes, you start nodding the fuck out. Because every last word he said was completely unimportant, unworkable, idiotic, or it contained 3 words that have not been used since 1400s, or some old Norse you got to go hunt down just so you could find out he was talking about a popsicle. Like, you asshole, you made this so difficult, and it was the most boring thing that's ever been put on tape, and I can use it for nothing, you know? And now they're going to want me to demonstrate this bullshit in clay. It is...
Yeah, this unworkable stuff, but yeah, using these technical terms or these esoteric words, it's meant to give somebody a sense of importance. Certainly, I get caught out for using all of the words and whatnot. It's definitely maybe a nervous tick, I don't know, but yeah, using those more esoteric or technical terms. All of the technical terms in Scientology are meant to give you the impression, oh, they know something I don't know, and I've got to learn what all of these things are. But once you kind of scratch under the surface, it's a nothing. It's like the technical jargon of like a role-playing game or something, because it is about as much to do with reality as that. So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you've ever played like Dungeons and Dragons, like Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition in the 1990s had like that many books. So, and all of these technical terms, and you had to know all these charts and, what all this stuff meant to be able to run a game. It's not unlike Scientology, I guess.
Well, here's a skill that most people will never get. Thank God. So you listen to this tape and you want to jump out the window, but the supervisor is coming by and you immediately have to go, so that you're not word cleared. Because if you don't look like you're into it, now you're gonna be holding the cans, and they're gonna be asking you what words mean.
Right. Yeah. So enthusiasm, or lack of enthusiasm, means they're gonna word clear you on stuff, and there maybe even a security check.
No, thank God. But what they'll do is, if that happens often enough, it's an ethics issue. And that was the funniest thing. To me, the funniest thing of all the stuff I talked about with Laura about Scientology, the funniest thing was how important it was when you're fast flow, you no longer have to get checked out.
Yeah, that was one of the first concepts you guys got deep on, right?
Yeah, and it just felt so good to me that someone else knows that, because there's nothing in the world worse than just like, they're going to ask you the big words, right? So you make sure you know what those are, and the stuff that's nomenclature, you get what those are, but then they're going to get you with something that no one can say, so you start looking up a couple extra things, hoping you just protect yourself. But once you're fast flow, now you can just go over words you don't know because no one's checking you out.
Right.
It's the greatest feeling in the world, because the thing is, I had no problem faking that I was getting gains, because I knew I was getting them when I was doing it right. So, but I still had to act like it. So it really wasn't hard for me to continue that game.
Yes.
It's like, oh yeah, this is great.
But they depend on you playing that game, right? I mean, and there have to be people that know that is what it is, but compliance is good enough. Like supervisors above you have to know that people are just doing that. Because they may have done this themselves. Just to get along.
I got a feeling. I think Scientology, a large part of it is people just playing a role. Because, think about it. You see the guys walking out of AO and he's an OT8, he should be floating to his car or whatever, right? He should be floating home, something. These guys have no ability to do anything. They get upset so quickly they want to run us over. I mean, that sounds like someone who's really together, They attack, remember that dentist attacked Aja? I mean, what was he, OT7 or something? It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
right. Yeah, or 3 packs a day. Ron Weasley like came after me, or it's like a few of them have touched my person outside of the Austin org, and yeah, the ramp up to absolute rage, like what's behind this mask, is so quick, and I felt like rather than them bull baiting me, it was going the other way, and.
Because it was.
I could still press charges on those 2 people.
But like, you don't act unaffected. You're just you, right? You're acting like a person acts who's normal. But if like, how? Okay, perfect example. You know how the security has to act like they're not remotely upset or impressed or fazed by anything you say, and they just keep repeating, "You must leave now. You must leave now." Okay.
Yeah, man.
But when I
tell William to I don't know, clean me up in my nethers on the street when he said for the 27th time that I was being trespassed on Easter. Yeah, I mean, that was my first interaction with that. That was
that's not normal.
It was like dealing with a robot.
Yeah. That's what bull baiting is. Like
at Disney World or something. You are now trespassed at the Hall of Presidents.
It's that bull baiting, that TR is so important because it allows you to adopt that valence, they call it, of what you need to be to get through this situation the way they think you should. Now, the truth is, like, if someone was to say to me, like, okay, when I was, let's say I was 25 and I was a security at Pac Base, and someone said to me, "Hey, are you really happy with your life right now? I mean, is this what you thought you'd be doing? Never leaving Berendo, broke. Okay, broke is a joke. You got no girlfriend, no family, no nothing. I mean, is this, you don't get to watch sports? You can't even jerk off. You literally are completely screwed here. I mean, are you happy here? Is this good?" I would be like, just like them, right? It's not an issue. It's not a problem. Do it all day on my head, twice on Sunday. But you don't think I'm not going to think of those words you just said for the next 3 months?
Absolutely.
Because you hit it out of the park. Of course I think of those things. This drill trained me to act as if that's not an issue. Couldn't care less. Nothing couldn't possibly bother me. Like I had to act like they'll make you feel bad for going to a concert. I mean, because what did you spend on tickets? If you told them $300 to see Van Halen or whatever, they might go, "What the fuck? You could have done such and such," or "Why didn't you give that to the IAS? Next time, why don't you come up with a little better, when's the last time you gave to CCHR?" I mean, you're going to hear something like that, right?
How many pamphlets could they have printed in all of the languages for that? Geez.
So, but yeah, you have to have that that ability to act like a robot. And I was just watching Streets talk to that dude who was out in front there for a few months, I guess, and I could just feel it. Like the guy inside, his soul was burning, but he had to just act as if it's all good.
The security guy. Yeah. Do you mean the security guy that he had out there?
Yeah. In front of the test center. And he would just act like do when Streets is just hitting him with one strike after the next, and it's like, and he has to act like, and it's like, I know that's hitting him straight. He heard Streets' voice for a month straight every time he closed his eyes. That's just a show, man. People think, "Oh, you're weirdos, you're Scientology." No, it's just a show. No one is that way in real life. You only become that way around other people who are in the same scam, in the same cult.
Yeah.
Then now, like, that's why people don't like, if you ever want to see an ill-attended party, because there's some Scientologists with a lot of money. Okay. Yep. A lot of money.
Oh yeah.
And I went to a couple parties that were at absolute bona fide mansions that had the best food on earth, anything you could imagine, and there's like 7 people. But you and I, we've been to parties, at a 2-bedroom house with 300 people outside the house, can't get in.
Yeah,
Beer
that's right.
everywhere. People on the roof, best party of the year.
That used to be my house.
So that just shows you what happens when Scientologists get together. That's how fun it is. No one even wants to go to the best scenario ever for free. No thanks.
When they're expected to as well.
No one wants to go even to the best Scientology party.
No.
Because now, if there was no cameras and it was, let's say, you and your one friend in Scientology, and you were going to a party that wasn't Scientology, that's cool because now you can both be off the chain. Right. But that's really rare. Right. Oh. And even then, it wasn't something you would do often because what happens if he ever rats you out because he's in big trouble?
Oh, yeah. No, you're attached to the hip. Well, I mean, they don't have anything on you that you don't have on them. But that's where you could do it. But yeah, it would be like a Scientologist Romspringer. I think that's the term for the Mennonite term for when, at like 18 or something, they're allowed to kind of, go off and do all of the sinful regular world stuff for a few years until they come back to the fold, to kind of get it out of their system so that, they can kind of live this life without regrets or something.
Yeah.
Or more so.
Oh, we have a good guest this week.
Oh, heck yeah. Yes, we do.
You want to bring her on?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The mod supporter chatter, you've seen her all over the place. A mod for Liz Ferris, Laura FM, all over, super positive. And with the new channel, the Cultology twins, this is one half of the Cultology twins with Summer Savage and Doctor Who Heather. And they've been also having creators and chatters on and doing this kind of what's good about this movement stuff like we have. So without further ado, let's bring on Summer Savage.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, guys?
Ooh.
What? You like my
This is variably working.
Is this very Pippi Longstockings?
It looks good.
This is wonderful.
Look, my hair's too long. And when it's wet, I braid it so it'll be all curly and cool looking when I'm done, when it dries. I ain't got time for all this. I want to chop it all
Wow,
off.
this is,
anyway,
we're having some difficulty here.
No, it's not difficulty. I love my hair, but I just need to get. It's like the women have this love-hate relate. Whoa, where did Selflesss go? Women have this love-hate relationship with their hair. What the hell? Well, hello everyone. I guess it's my channel now. It was all part of my brilliant plan to take over Selflesss channel. You see, actually, I don't know what the hell is going on, but I'm just going to sit here and talk because this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. And I'm the guest, so I have no abilities to do anything. I can't even see the damn chat. Oh, wait, I have the chat right here on my phone. So let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. What happened to the boys on their own channel? Let's see. The men's. Sorry. Oh my God. Nothing. Okay.
Wow.
Ah!
I just got kicked out.
Did you see? Oh no. The whole time I was like, oh, and this was all part of my master plan to take over Selflesss channel. It was a big joke for a minute.
Yeah, so I can tell. Yeah, my My internet connection is garbage right now.
You were robot-y talking when it was just two of you, and then you cut out and froze for about 10 seconds right after that, and then well, you'll see in the replay that what happened was I was the only one up here, and so I was like, this was all part of my master plan to take
I thought that was
over
the coolest
channel.
intro ever.
And I just
Summer.
sat here and I was like, let me look at the comments because I have my phone on here so I can be watching and giving watch hours and commenting at the same time. And everybody's like, hey, Summer, yay, 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 yay. And then, oh, and then they said, Summer savaged them.
I think he's frozen up again.
Yeah.
Oh my God. God, Selflesss is having technical
Can you hear me?
difficulties today. Oh
Summer.
my God. What? Yes, love. Talk
Oh,
to
okay.
me.
I didn't know if you could hear me.
I can hear you perfectly. It's Selflesss is having all the internet difficulties. That would be over here.
I was gonna say that was the coolest intro. That was the coolest intro ever because the second she was introduced, she got rid of both of us. She 86'd us both.
Oh,
and she's
Eric,
like,
what you don't know is there's like a whole thing about that. Like there's a whole story behind that.
That's the coolest intro ever.
Well, no, because I do the backstream for Liz, and most of the time I will accidentally kick somebody out of the chat. Almost not. I mean, ask the chat. I don't know. How often do I kick somebody out of a chat, y'all? You know, Summer strikes again.
A lot of times.
What's my average? Summer is just talking dirty. Liz, you know what? You can call me.
Maybe 2.
And get off YouTube. Damn it, woman. I'm freaking out. Anyway, Lady Jane, Pamela SP. Hey.
Hi.
You savaged them, Lady Jane. So, in the Cultology fourth wall shop, just so you all know, because everybody knows about the savage thing, Heather made a dope Savage Air sweatshirt, and she's gonna make a t-shirt tonight because it's hot and nobody wants a sweatshirt right now. And it has Savage. It's like an airline t-shirt, and it says Savage Air. And underneath it says F around and find out where we fly.
Yeah, that's right.
Because this all
that's when you find out.
F around and find out where we go, where we fly. Because what I do is I savage the trolls in the chat, but I also accidentally, because I'm on an iPad, will go to star a comment and instead delete the comment or ban the user. And so then I have to run over to my phone, and if I haven't completely banned them off the channel, then I can get them back. But
right,
it's called The Savage now. It's crossed over into other channels. You've been savaged. Maryland, I think Maryland's chat uses it. It's crossed over into several channels. Love Your Face.
Yeah.
Another thing that Heather and I have done that seems to be spreading its love. Exit Stage Left is another one that seems to be holding traction. And those are all things that I say all day.
Heavens to Murgatroyd, Exit Stage Left.
No, I'm just one of those straight people. I'm straight up. If you don't like who I am, if you don't like what I have to say, it's fine.
Yeah.
You can take
sure.
You can leave the life.
Ooh, we got a little effect there. Nice one.
Yeah. Do you want me to do all the fun things?
No, you do what you like, but so like how
This was for Eric's t-shirt. That was for Eric's t-shirt. Continue. Megadeth. He is on a Megadeth t-shirt. I was like, that's for Eric. That's for Eric right there. Okay, talk to me.
Right on. Yeah. So like how did you find this community? How'd you get into this thing?
Well,
inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, inquiring minds want to know. Well, as usual, there's a video where Heather herself, my cultology twin, Dr. Heather, as Liz likes to call her, Doctor Who Heather, as we know and love her. She's the brains, and I'm the smartass. Basically, is how this works. It's kind of like she does all that, like, but then so basically what we started doing was we were like, if the whole Ellie thing popped up, right? And this was right before the Ellie thing popped up. And Heather actually said, well, you're asking me about my personal past, right? Not the channel.
Well, whatever you want to.
Yeah. So, in 2014, well, okay, first of all, I went to a fundamental school, Baptist school, in evangelical fundamental Baptist school that was affiliated with Bob Jones University, which is about as crazy as it can get when it comes to fundamental.
Yes.
700 club.
Absolutely.
Type of schools. Okay. But I went to church with my big ass Southern family at the Southern Baptist church that was right outside my neighborhood with all my Southern Baptist family on my daddy's side. My mother was the one who sent me to private school because my grandmother insisted. But I'm glad they did it. It's fine.
We lost you there.
I said, I'm glad I did it. It's fine. It's not like I could have changed it.
So right as you were talking about the Southern Baptist School, we just froze. So
okay, hang on. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
It's the stream froze.
Oh, okay. Well, you're having the most difficulty that I can tell. But okay.
I heard everything.
Right. So I went to a fundamental Christian Baptist school, but I went to a Southern Baptist church. And I spent all my time at the church singing in the choir. Because the family gift of whatever is the ability to sing. Whenever. Whatever.
Excellent.
So, and then I got pushed into opera school. I went to college for opera. And when I went there, it was a non-denominational private school for girls, for all women, but they were throwing money at me and I'd be stupid not to go there. I wanted to go to Clemson with all my friends, but can't always do what a tiger wants to do. And because that's this other thing. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. If you know about Southern football, you know about Southern football. If you don't, then you don't. College, by the way. And I was always interested in religion because when I went to college, there was this, yes, indeed, very, very hot religion professor. And it was time to sign up for an elective. And I was like, well, I'm going to take a religion class because it's history of religion. It's not ministry. It's not that kind of stuff. It's history and questioning and all of that kind of stuff. So that took me. So then every time I needed an elective, I would take another religion class with this same guy who we all thought was hot. But he really, honestly, was the best professor on the campus. So we kept gravitating back to him to take every class we needed an elective for. And so one day I'm walking down the hall, coming out of one of his classes, and he goes, "Hey, Summer." I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "You need to take the senior seminar." And I went, "Why do I need to take the senior seminar? I'm not a religion major." And he goes, "Sweetie, you have enough credits for a minor. You just need to take the damn seminar." And I went, "Stop, really?" I didn't even know I had taken that many religion classes, but it just was one of those things. And then, so Scientology, I knew vaguely from like pop culture and trivia stuff because going to play pop culture and trivia with me? I dare you. Bring it. Bring it.
I
Music
will.
or you and I need to have a music throwdown, but we need to have a trivia thing because there are some things I don't know, and there's a lot more. You know a lot more than I do, but
Or we could have an exchange.
well, we always do.
But
That's how
so
it
you
works.
found Scientology in these college courses?
I did not. I found Scientology later in about when Going Clear was put on HBO in like 2014, I believe. The Lawrence Wright article
Yep.
that was made into an HBO thing. I saw that and I was
Absolutely.
like, holy shit, this is right up my alley. And it's crazy and I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. But I got interested in it and I bought some books. I bought I bought Jeff Hawkins' book. He's great. I love him. I
Okay.
have nothing bad to say about Jeff Hawkins. I read other people's books. I read Leah's book. I read Mike's book. I read Mark and Claire's book. I read all those books. I don't know where they are now, but I read them all, and that's fine.
Yep.
But yeah, it's fine. I read them. At the time, they were important and needed to be, needed to understand that. But and then the Aftermath came on, and I watched that, and it blew my mind. Like I started because I'm such a movie buff. I had watched so many Scientologists in movies that I liked, like Giovanni Ribisi and Juliette Lewis, and just because of good movies they had done. Like The Boiler Room was one of my favorite movies because I'm a sales girl, right? So The Boiler
Yes.
Room is the Gen X version of Wall Street. And it's got Vin Diesel and Ben Affleck and all these guys in it, but it's the main character is Gio Ribisi. And I was
Right on.
like, son of a bitch, I can't watch that movie anymore. But then I took a big break from YouTube. And I was gone and I was following Aaron and stuff. And then I took a long hiatus and then moved all over the country, did different things, came back home and jumped back on, saw Aaron in a video and he's talking about all these other
When
channels.
was
And I'm like, what?
that you jumped back on? When did you
Last
jump back on?
last fall. But
Okay, right.
I was already down with Aaron and all that on YouTube. I was already
Well, I think a
subscribed and
lot of people were being
had
attracted
been
in at that point.
right. Well, I was in from the beginning. I remember buying an Aftermath shirt from Aaron on his fourth
Right
wall
on.
because it was like one of the first things he put up on his fourth wall, or maybe it was for the foundation. I don't remember. It was so long ago. I mean, Aaron had a totally different setup. It was very early Aaron. It was very early day Aaron. Starting out Aaron. So I had watched a lot of his stuff in the first couple of years and learned a lot more. And then, had taken a hiatus, had moved to Vegas, didn't have time for YouTube and, all that kind of shit. And then came home, did a bunch of other stuff. I was out doing land deals and stuff. It's just long and lifelong type weird shit. I was doing land deals, and then of course, we hit COVID, and then the land deals started back up in 21 and 22 and 23. And since then, there's nothing to develop, so there's no land to sell. And I'm a genius. Okay, you put a couple in my car with $500,000. You give me 10 minutes on that land, and I'll have them a beautiful waterfront with a dock for their big ass boat and the money in my pocket a month later.
It's also a pretty great market at that time. So,
well, the thing is
huge growth.
The company that I self-contracted for is just one of the most fantastic. They put in all the roads, they do all the fiber optics, they do all the hard work.
Right on.
And if they're on a golf course on a lake, they're going to take care of the golf course and spend millions of dollars taking care of those holes that are in front of them for the golf club just to make their land more profitable, and and then it gives them more reason to go and become members of the damn country club, right?
Yeah, of course.
I got a question for you.
So back to
Thank
the
you.
point, if you want to point me back to the point. Yeah, I came back.
Eric,
I found
what do you
Liz.
got?
I came back. I found Liz, and I found Laura, and I was done. And eventually, I became a mod for Liz, and I was mod for Nora for a while, and I modded for and I mod for Laura. And it's very different modding a protester and modding a streamer. It's very different.
I have a question for you. We're going to take the reins back and move it to the next question here.
Okay, go ahead.
Have you, because I want to know this about every single person that ever comes on this show. This is a question I have for literally everybody.
Okay.
Have you ever read a Scientology book?
I have watched enough shit, and yes, Heather and I did one where we read through The Way to Happiness. That's the only one though. But like, I've listened and read so much stuff over and over again that I feel like I have. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally. I mean, there's you can have an enormous amount of knowledge and without ever reading anything, just by being in this community.
But like, if I feel like somebody's falling into their Scientology background, I can recognize that in a person.
I'm just curious how it's for a bunch of reasons, because one, most of the books I find are horrible.
Oh God,
just like
the
I
books
find
are
all
horrible.
the tapes to be horrible.
The dude was a science fiction writer. I don't want to get bullshit. Selflesss is having a bad day.
The fact that the books are awful, but also I'm curious what book someone would read if they only read one book, because the odds are you only read one. And I'm always curious, is that just Dianetics off the bat, or did you look and see some other books and go, you know what, let me just try this one because of the title, or History of Man, or The Problems of Work, or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I didn't. The thing for me was that I was basically, told a lot of stuff from the Lawrence Wright thing, and then a lot of good information, and they broke it down beautifully how it all works. And I understand there's lots of extra layers, but I have read The Way to Happiness. That's the only one I've read.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to get into a great big book. I wanted to get into something smaller, like a booklet, so that I didn't, as I never am. Because, like, back in the day, I was trying to figure out what my own religion was in my own mind. And that's why I did so many religion classes.
I would be fascinated to know what you would think about any book if you read it, because I was already, mind controlled by the time I was reading that stuff. You know what I mean? So I was coming from a whole different place. I would love to borrow Selflesss's mind and just see, like, what thoughts does he have when he reads Problems of Work? Does he go, that's the dumbest shit I ever heard? Or does he go, well, that ain't too bad? Or like, I would love to know.
Right. And I'd be happy to read something. If you have a suggestion, I'll grab it and
put it like this. The only book I think that doesn't suck from cover to cover was probably Problems of Work, because it was a little bit more like you could sort of think you could use it a little bit. That just shows me how bad all the books are. Like, don't even open History of Man. Your head will explode. Don't read. I can't get. Dianetics was the hardest book I ever read in my life. I could barely tell you what it's about now. It's just gobbledygook.
Well, Eric, a goal of mine is to help people that are out of Scientology, especially my friends, my family, stop using words like disconnection. You're not in Scientology anymore. You're not in a cult anymore. It's not disconnection. It's It's separating a toxic friendship. It's something different. It's, you know what I'm saying? And so like I don't know. Like I try to
Well, it's not in the
be,
same.
I'm a big hearted Southern girl, and like for me, I want to protect those that I care about, and I also want them to live in the real world to a point where they understand what other people are talking about when they're talking about it. Because they don't not everybody understands Scientology language. And it's and you're the first person who sounds like a normal guy who doesn't like, you know, because a lot of people, they just still sound like they're in Scientology because they've never let go of the language, because it's the language they learned as children, and I get that. But it's also kind of all about breaking those breaking out of that, and using regular normal American, you're not in a cult world words. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
I actually went so far as to try to reappropriate a couple words like that. In Scientology, you'll hear the word affinity all the time, but I've always liked that word. And that word shouldn't have anything to do with a stupid cult. You
like
know what I mean?
I have an affinity for mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Yeah.
You know, like exactly.
No,
like
that's how you use that in the English language. You don't
yeah,
doesn't have to be a dirty word.
yeah,
Affinity is a liking to something. That is all.
right.
That is all.
But in Scientology, you know it's the ARC triangle, right? There's never, ever, no one's ever said the word affinity without it applying to that. So, you know, and it's funny because those are the three things that are never in with any Scientology. Like the whole point of that triangle LRH was trying to tell you was it equals understanding. So if one of those things are out, you will not achieve this amazing understanding. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Like triangulation on an idea, right? These 3 points. You're triangulating it.
Yeah. And like,
and that's that. Well, I was going to say, I whenever I can, I like to make the word less, so it has less impact on me. Like I carry around enough hate. I carry around enough discomfort.
you gotta drop it off your back and be
You
like,
know,
I'm free now.
you know, it's,
You know,
but
it's
you
like,
know what it is too, though. It's not yourself. It's the people. I'm a lot better with me than I am with what happened to my sister.
well,
And my life was dog shit, but my sister's life was horrific in a lot of
She
ways.
was in the Sea Org, right?
No, but she was just like an all-star, super out the park, crazy, you know, OT7 class 8 auditor, you know, at 16.
Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
unfucking heard of, you know.
Sorry,
And she got,
I knew you were like aspiring to something in your sister, and I just mistook it for the Sea Org, but that is also quite way up there in Scientology at that age. I don't think I knew
Wait a minute.
that she was OT.
She was, say that again. Repeat that. She was OT7
class 8.
class A auditor.
Yeah.
At what age?
16, 17. She's 2.5 years older than me. Yeah, 6,
If
17.
you're not at OT7 at 6, how can you get to OT7 at 16 and be able to audit people in OT7?
You don't. You do that to yourself. You audit yourself.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, exactly. For the cluster OT levels, right?
Evidently, I caused a ruckus in the
You're
chat.
self-auditing. 2 hands in hand, right?
Yeah. Weird.
Yep. And then you're auditing
That's
yourself.
Amazing. I don't think I knew that.
That's why people go crazy. Literally, this is not, I'm not saying this as, there's no hyperbole here at all. People go crazy on OT7. It takes a lot of people, ask around, you'll see, It takes a lot of people 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years to get through it. And every 6 months, you got to fly back on your dime to go to Clearwater to get your sec check every 6 months, even if you're not auditing yourself and you're taking a break for whatever reason. So, but think about this, because I didn't know this when it was happening. But imagine being a child, auditing yourself, trying to get drug-induced clusters of body thetans off of your shoulder.
That's right. Yep.
I mean, this shit can drive you literally mad.
And I just like my thing is, how can little children be treated like adults when they're 4 years old and they don't even understand?
Because they don't really do that until you're about 6. That's 6 years old. That's when they pretty much put the shoe in your butt, and that's how it's gonna run. You know, but when you're 3, 4, 5, they don't play that. Once you're like 6, 7, right in there,
Yeah.
you know what? Like I remember 3rd grade, like that's about the level where okay, now you're basically 40 years old.
Yeah, yeah, but that's a really hardy growth spurt there. Pardon me.
But like,
blow my nose.
Here's another example of growing up in Scientology, right? How ridiculous something that would be no problem in another family. We moved down to Hunga from San Francisco because of the blue building, right? Just started up.
Okay.
And you couldn't do the OT levels in San Francisco. So
yep,
we come down here. We got a house in Tahunga at the time, and the street did one of these like little curves like this, and the light was out, and there was these dogs that just sounded like they wanted to kill me, right? And you can't see your hand in front of your face, and I got to go through that to go to the store to get milk or whatever, right?
Oh,
shit.
It was scary. It was scary as hell for me. I would
Right.
just run like a son of a bitch past the dogs. And I can't see them, and I'm just like, oh, this is the worst. But you couldn't, like, I used to think how nice it would be to be able to tell my family, like, man, that's so scary over there, you know? Like,
no,
I don't want to go there.
That's what you tell the people, because are you a part of Gen X?
I don't know. I'm 55. I don't know what that means.
What year were you born?
68.
Okay, you're in Gen X. You're a Gen Xer. We're all Gen Xers. We had to literally fend. We came in when the lights went out on the street, or it got dark. I mean, we were put in dangerous situations, and we had to get ourselves out of it. If we had a bike,
I'm just saying, in Scientology family summer.
Right, but he.
No, I'm saying these are the things you can tell your younger other people, that like Generation X was so crazy and different, and everybody has all this information now, and it's just a generational thing.
But he's saying that he couldn't even express his fear of the dog.
Yeah, I understand.
My family would have said, "Get your TRs in."
Yeah.
You see, they wouldn't have said it's okay to be scared right there, because it's really scary.
Yeah.
It would be, get your TRs in, snap into present time. You know, we wouldn't send you on something that could get you hurt, and it just becomes the most uncaring thing ever. And
yeah,
it's unwelcome.
Yeah, because you have parents, but they're not treating you like fucking. I'm sorry, can I say that? They're not treating you like damn children. I mean, they're treating you like servants and pains in the ass because they bothered to have you, and it's like, I don't, and that's harsh, but like it's also like they discard any responsibility for for their children, but it's just so hard, because like that's the part that hurts the most, is it's the kids. It's all about the kids, man. And I just every story just wrecks me. You know, everyone I hear, it wrecks me to the bone because, you know, yes, I'm in the hillbilly South and all that, but I live in a pretty decent town and I was born in a pretty decent family. And yeah, did I have some religious trauma? Sure, I did. But did anybody beat my ass? No. Did anybody make me cross a highway to go to the store in the middle of the night with no lights? No. I mean, you know, and so the thing is my empathy because of all the trauma across from never ends is my perspective. From a never end perspective, all we want is to empathize, support, and help you guys as much as we can to and others to readjust to society because you didn't have a childhood, you didn't get one. You didn't really get one. We get that. And like I know that Heather and I personally, we Cultology, you know, we personally, you know, we know that that is a really big thing and that every last one of you is a child at heart. And it's a beautiful thing to watch you rock out your inner child. Yes, it's late, but you're getting to do it. And we're here to support you and encourage that and help you enjoy that. Like, you know, if your thing is concerts or, you know, whatever it is, like, you know, if it's collecting stuff, if it's gaming, if it's I don't care what it is. It's something that you did not have when you were a kid and you should have had it. And it grounds you in a way that helps you move on with your life. And that is something that I understand from all the religious doctrine that I have scuttlebutted out of all the different things I've seen and heard and read from Scientology. And people like me who were not in a cult, who had trauma, drama, bullshit in their past, like all of us have. But I'm one of the luckier ones. And I just want everybody to know that because I'm not trying to stand on any kind of pedestals or anything. I was more lucky than most. You know, there are a lot of tortured souls in our community, and I just want everybody to be aware of the fact that, you know, I get exactly what you guys are talking about, and just for Eric's, you know, just so you know who I am, Eric. It's more of a thing like, you know, as a support, we just want to be there for everybody, no matter what they're going through, and try to help them through it and be the biggest support we possibly can. That's all. I mean,
Well, that's awesome.
that was always the goal as moderators and even as now content creators. That's our thing. That's what we do. And you know, if somebody needs to be reminded that disconnection's not a word in the real world, so stop using it or whatever. Like sometimes you just gotta smack people and be like, hey, it's not a real thing. You dismantled a
I mean,
toxic
it's good to
friendship,
know
or
about them.
right, but it's not something that it's not something that it's ever done in a mean way. It's done with love and affection. It's
Sure.
not, you
No,
know,
but I mean, it's good to know about the words themselves, but I think maybe more specifically what you're speaking to is just the usage of these words in your regular language. So
yes,
it's still a part of the furniture of your mind,
yeah,
and
and
it's still like you're
I'm like,
thinking through these
buy a new,
filters and
yeah,
through
I'm like,
those
buy a new
definitions.
couch. You need to take the old couch out, the Scientology couch out, and put in a new couch. You know, in the furniture of their mind. Like I'm like, yeah, you need to remove that word and replace it with this word or whatever. Just to acclimate, to help acclimate if they need it, if they want it. That's all.
Yeah, I love the idea of being able to undo all the harm, but I guess people would have to be really patient because it's so difficult, and
Well, and that's the
Totally.
thing. It's a
it
very
becomes part of you. It's so
yeah.
ingrained.
And as long as my blunt,
I
crazy ass
can
doesn't
only imagine.
offend you, then because it's all done with love,
Yeah.
then then Heather's much better at the making everything sound very nice.
Because I was allowed to change my beliefs all the time. I was allowed throughout my life to just explore and the new information. Okay, so we can try this out and we can try this out, and I wasn't ever forced into this kind of ideology. And so like that mindset I do have just. And thanks for that reminder of having.
He's frozen again.
I wanted to know what it was. Having a what?
It's got impossible, like not liking your favorite music as a kid anymore or something.
Stop. We didn't hear any of that. You went out. You went out. So
you know what was funny? No, you went like this. You went and so like here's the point, like, and it just stopped. And we were like, what the hell?
20 seconds.
I wanted to hear what you said.
I was like, we were all invested, and we were like, oh shit.
But I was saying, Eric, thanks for reminding us to have patience and sympathy for people that were raised this way, because these modes of thought have to be just like the hardest thing to break. Like what you grew up liking as a kid, or like, I don't know, your daily routine, but beyond that, like, part of like how your whole organism developed. So thank you for that reminder.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. Well, I think we should wrap it up because we're having some serious connection difficulties, but and we're at a $1.07, which is great. I want to thank you, Summer, for being here. You're such an amazing guest, and I love your show because I don't even care if you guys have a guest, quite frankly. You guys can just get together and shoot the shit, and I'll grab my bong and hang out with you.
We're gonna do more of that, because Heather is working and has a 1 hour commute both ways, and of course, obviously, dumbass. And we're working on that, but so she can't be with me at the moment, and I'm making moves myself, trying to get my car fixed so that I can work. And so anything, some things are going on. And so we haven't been live for the last week or two, but we will. And then just a lot of crap happened last weekend, and we just didn't manage to go live. And then
I was telling Selflesss because we were having some issues with some bookings, right, because of the holiday. And then I think we should actually probably give ourselves a deadline of like Tuesday to fax each other who we got, who wants on, or whatever, and that way it gives us a couple of days to work it out.
Yeah, and
and
depending on who you want, I can send you a list of people that I've got that we want to interview and that we have interviewed.
Certainly.
Those people are.
But I was just going to say, to compliment you, Summer, that when we were talking, Selflesss and I were talking about some bookings and whatever, and I was like, quite frankly, if no one shows up, I'm good. I'm here to bullshit with Selflesss for an hour, so it's
right. I know.
That's fine. We can do that.
Everything's a bonus beyond that,
Right.
But I think we've got some bookings for next week already. So
I got 2 good ones.
You're welcome.
Our 3 good ones available, and then whatever you got going. So we'll
yeah.
What did I do?
No. So this is. I think we've started the.
He froze up again.
He's frozen again. So what we did was the week before Heather went to work, back to work, we did 6 days in a row. We had a guest on every day. So we'd have
Oh,
a
yeah?
big, like, so we'd have plenty of stuff for people to watch.
Well, anyway, like I say, if you don't have a guest, whatever, like you guys should just get together and just bullshit. I mean, I don't know why you don't, Cultology doesn't have to have a guest every time, is what I'm saying.
Oh no, we don't, and we don't. We've interviewed each other, which is basically us asking each other questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is funny as shit. Those are 2 episodes. Then there's Ask Us Anything. There's a few of those. It's just and usually it's just us bullshitting. So and talk. And then I'll start going off on a rant, left field, left field, left field, left field. And Heather will be like, and so, and I'll be like, yes, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
No.
Yeah, so you know what's up.
But thanks for being here.
Oh, I mean, birds of a feather. Come on.
I mean, Selfless. I see you. I see you, man. Who's my boy? Who's my boy? Who always knows what song to play without me telling him, like literally through my mind. Selfless. He knows what to do. It's crazy. I'll be like, play Led Zeppelin. He'll play my favorite song.
Nice.
And then the other night while he's frozen sitting here, and the other night I said, play Pink Floyd. I said, play Pink Floyd, and he played one of the shortest songs, but also my favorite song from Pink Floyd. And that's a hard thing to do. Pink Floyd has a large album, a large library.
A lot of good tunes.
A lot of good tunes. And Selfless, I said, play Pink Floyd.
Yeah, I think that was Breathe that you were reacting to.
It was Breathe. And then we were talking about the Pulse double disc and how it was the best one ever. And that was the one I had in my car in college, along with my steady diet of what? Selfless? Not Pink Floyd, but what else did I have in my car? What was my other have to have other than Pink Floyd? Hello? Oh my God. My other favorite, my absolute favorite?
No,
Led
Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin
again. He says Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin, though.
Yes, Led Zeppelin. Yes. My brother taught me well.
Yes.
All the credit goes.
Yeah, it was my mom for Zeppelin.
Brother. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, my mother put on Zeppelin 1 first side, Good Times, Bad Times, and said I was in a cafe in 1969 when I heard this, and changed my life.
Yeah,
So,
love that.
12 years old, and I didn't look back. I tried to learn it on drums, and I tried to learn all of them. But yeah.
Nice.
Zepp.
Yeah, I had an older brother that drove me around all the time, and he had to because my parents forced him, but he had to drive me to school and stuff. And so it was either like NWA or it was the Led Zeppelin and and the Pink Floyd. And so I always preferred the Led Zeppelin and the Pink Floyd. Or it was hair metal.
Nice.
It was always hair metal.
All right. Well, thank you for being so nice of you to be here. We'll see you. Take care of yourself.
All right. Holla at me anytime you need. Bye.
Thank you.
So right on. Right on. So Summer Savage. Awesome.
Good book.
So you can that's Summer Savage at the Cultology Twins. Go check them out. They've got great content. They're wonderful people. Give them a sub, give them a like, watch their stuff. It's super de-duper. Yeah.
Well, all right,
sorry for the technical problems.
You know what? I mean, I wish we never happened, but I gotta say, it was really funny though. The one time that you cut off right as we were both hanging on your next word, and you're like, we're like, it was funny, man. I'm like, no way. And then it kept happening all the time. That's like, okay, well, I know that's not good. But anyway, we got a $1.15 out of it, and We got a lot
Yeah,
of good guests coming. A lot of really good guests. Some A+ bookings, and we appreciate you guys for checking us out and spending some time with us. Big ups to everybody.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
it's great being with you. Of course, that's what this is all about. And
Absolutely.
forward-
Brings a smile to my face every time.
I look forward to next week's Thursday at 2.
Yeah, onward and upward. Thursdays at 2, where we're gonna, jump all over the lack of stats going vertical. We're gonna keep them down and horizontal as much as possible.
That's fantastic. On that note, love you. I'll see you soon. All right. Check you soon.
Later on.
Bye now.
Bye. Haha. I'm going